What a crazy year for sports last year and this year so far this year. But last year's been kind of crazy for like a lot of reasons. A lot of different things happened. A lot of negative things, a lot of positive things, a lot of things in terms of like things going on in my life, in my music career, things going on in like other people's lives. I wouldn't say like a depressing year, but I don't know. I feel like just a lot of strange things all around the world. It's been happened last year. You know what I mean? Now that we're in a new year, 2023, it's like a breath of fresh air, sort of. You know, it's like new beginning, a new year to kind of like change who we are for the better in terms of like being a person, being a family member, being a brother, sister, son, daughter, husband, wife, grandfather, grandmother, relative, friend. You know what I mean? However, whoever you are, basically, and whatever you represent, 2023 kind of feels like the year where we're all trying to like make ourselves become a better person or a better version of ourselves in terms of like everything, like financially, uh where like our living conditions, emotionally, how we are, how we feel as people, in terms of how we interact with other people. It's a fresh year. It's a new year to start. There's a lot of things that I want to change about myself, and a lot of things I want to change with like my music, especially because I'm getting older now. I'm 31 now, 31 years old. I've been making music since I was in grade 10. So since I was 15, I think, when I first started making music. I was 15 when I first started making music. I think I wrote my first verse when I was 15. So I'm calling that age my start off age, and ever since then, my plan was always to just get better at this. You know, like during those days, I was more of a fan of hip hop and of music. I was mainly a fan of hip hop because I beat made, because I was a beat maker. I wasn't just a rapper back in those days. I started off writing and making raps, and then it transitioned into making beats because like I didn't really listen to the best hip hop when I first started making music. Like I was more into like Nelly. I don't know if you guys probably heard of Nelly before, but I would listen to rappers like Nelly. Uh, you could put Jay Z in that. I would listen to Jay Z. I listened to like Nas. Nas was pretty big back in those days. Eminem was like on the come up, but I didn't really get too much into like the other hip hop artists until later on in my life. Not later on in my life, but like later on in my like teenage years. So like when I was 14, 15, that's when I first started. And then I say maybe when I turned or when I got into like grade 12, slash the first year of college. I'll say like grade 11, grade 12 was the 2 years when I started to get into like other what do you call it, other rappers, such as like the Roots. I started getting into like Wu Tang. I started getting into like a Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul. Like I started to like research about other hip hop acts that were maybe similar to like the stuff I was hearing from like Nas and Jay Z. Like there's a certain style that they would put into their music that got me hooked to their music, right? And that was kind of like Nas's like Illmatic style. You know what I mean? When he put out Illmatic and his second album, what was it called again? Not no, it was written. Yeah, so Nas's Illmatic and it was written, and then Reasonable Doubt, and In My Lifetime, the I think it's three parts by Jay Z. So like, it wasn't so much that like I found out about Nas and Jay-Z and like Biggie Smalls and like Tupac, and then like listen to their music and it's like, oh cool, like somebody uh using their words and putting them into a sequence where they go along with a beat, and then they're creating a story out of it. And like I didn't look at it like that, and then like these guys are rappers, you know what I mean? I got hooked onto like the style of how they made their music, because a lot of these artists, the ones back in the day, they would actually make their songs with different styles instead of making each of their songs with the same style, so every song sounds the same. The best rappers in my opinion are really good at that. They can like they can kind of like they can kind of like stick to they can stick to the same style. They can switch up their style with through their music without basically changing like who they are in the song, right? Like you listen to the song, it doesn't sound like another song that they've made. Say like, I can think of an example. So with Jay-Z, you can maybe compare like Dead Presidents 2. I think it's Dead Presidents 2, and you compare that to like maybe Change Clothes off of Change Clothes. I think it's off of no, what's take is it the Black Album? I think it's off the Black Album. I could be wrong about that, but you guys get what I mean. Like you're comparing, if you compare one of his songs from like the 90s and then compare it to a completely different song that so if you take a song that he's made in the 90s and compare it to a song that he's made in like the 2000s, like I think Change Clothes was released in like 2008 or something like that. I could be wrong about that, but it was definitely in the 2000s. It was past 2005 for sure. You listen to both songs, you can tell that there are two songs that are made by the same artist, but when you listen to them, you listen to the content, you listen to everything about the song, the beat and everything, you can tell that they're different songs. He didn't just write the same song. They're two different songs with two different meanings, but just based off listening to it, you can tell that it's coming from the same artist, right? So I try to take that technique and I would hear that same technique in a lot of different rappers that I'm a fan of, right? So I basically took that technique during my grade 12 year when I was starting to really get into like listening to hip hop, and then I wanted to mesh that technique with my own style and try to create my own music with it. So, and it wasn't just Jay-Z. I took ideas from like the Roots, Eminem, a lot of different rappers. And then after like grade 12, once I started to get into beat making, I started to get into other genres, right? I wasn't just listening to hip hop anymore, because I was making my own beats. And when I say I make my own beats, like I'm actually writing the like notes to like the bass lines that I create, and like the chords and all the harmonies that I create, all the melodies that I create out of my beats. Like I'm actually like making them from scratch, you know what I mean? I'm not like, the only time I sample is like a very small percentage of my beats is sampled, like a very small part of, like I'll say maybe like 20 to 30%, not even, maybe like 10 to 20% of the beat is like taken from another source, right? And then the other 80% is like all me. Like I'm writing the drum patterns, I'm writing the key patterns, I'm writing the bass line patterns. Everything is written from scratch using piano theory, music theory, or I'm actually using scales, and I'm using intervals and chord changes, chord progressions, and like all of that stuff. I'm putting that all into my beats. So like all the beats that you hear from me, they're all made from scratch from me. Like I produce all of my beats, and I didn't really start getting better until I started to listen to other genres like electronic music, EDM, jazz music, reggae, dancehall, soul, R&B, trip hop, experimental, even a little bit of rock, blues, like heavy metal. Like I'll listen to any genre that's available out there, and basically use the techniques that they use to make their music and incorporate it into my own beats to try to like get better in terms of understanding music theory and understanding how to like evolve my music. And it also helps me understand how to like songwrite better too. So whenever I'm writing my songs, I understand what's needed on the beat and what's not needed, and like you know what I mean. Like even when I'm recording, it helps out with that too. So um, I've been doing this since I was 15 in grade 10. While I'm supposed to be doing my like homework, I'm like putting my lyrics down too at the same time. So you know where I'm coming from. I'm not just starting to make music now. This is a long time thing. Basically 15, 16 years now. This year, no, 17 years. So it's been 17 years since I've started making the music, since I wrote my first verse. You know what I mean? And now that I'm 31, I'm going full throttle with this. Like I have other jobs too. You know what I mean? Like I always keep a job, a side job, just so I can pay the bills. But I'm slowly leaning towards the music side because the potential is starting to like come out, come out. You know what I mean? Like I'm starting to see the potential that I hope to see like maybe like 10 years ago. You know what I mean? It started to come up, and I got a lot of ideas that I want to put out into the world through my music. I'm gonna start performing soon. I just ordered a DJ controller, and with this I'm gonna be able to DJ my own music, and I'm gonna talk about it more in another video because I only have 15 minutes for this video. I'm gonna see if I can maybe extend that time, but I'll explain more in another video how I'm gonna perform my music. But it's gonna happen. It's one of my resolutions for this year is to get better in that department, put out more great music. It's obviously gonna happen, but I definitely want to get better at the things that I'm not used to and I'm not comfortable with. So like, comment, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'm gonna try to do more of these videos here, kind of breaking down how I'm gonna go with things in terms of my music career. And I do have a mixtape, a brand new mixtape, first project of the year coming out, called Clout Chaser. It's gonna be released for February 4th, 4 a.m. So definitely check that one out. It's a 12-track project, and yeah, like I said, man, I'm gonna try to do more of these as much as I can, and yeah, see you in the next video. Norris, subscribe if you haven't, and I'm out of here.